Welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on NXT. But before we begin, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's dive right in to the opening match, okay? This was insane. We had the NXT Women's Championship on the line. Stephanie Vaquer defending against Jada Parker. Now, if you guys have been listening for any amount of time, you would know that my two favorite women in NXT are Jada Parker and Stephanie Vaquer. So for them to be going face to face for the title was a complete and total gag, okay? This was a fantastic match, and I am so happy that they got to open the show. Now, throughout the match, I mean, I will say it was a great match, but towards the towards the end of the match, Jordan Grace came out, okay, to distract Jada Parker. Now, we know that Jordan and Jada don't like each other, and so, of course, it was inevitable that Jordan was going to come out. And so, of course, Stephanie used that to her advantage, who wouldn't, and retained and won the match. Now, I said it last week that neither of Stephanie's matches last night were going to end clean. I said at least one of them is going to end with some sort of interference or somebody playing a part or whatever. DQ, I don't know. I just said something was going to happen, and here we go. Jordan Grace is the reason why Stephanie retained her title. I'm not saying Stephanie couldn't do it on her own. I think she definitely could. I just think that Jordan kind of leveraged and helped her with that W. But then after the match, Fatal Influence came out to attack Stephanie from behind. They were taking full advantage of the moment and made a statement to take out Stephanie before her match later on in that night with Fallon Henley to defend her NXT North American Championship. That would have been her second match of the night, which she did have later in the night. But let's head backstage for a backstage segment with Trick Williams and Javon Evans. Now, Javon went backstage into the locker room to confront Trick Williams about how he didn't like that Trick pushed him to the side last week. Trick then told him that he's only focused on Oba Femi, but then Javon quickly responded and absolutely clocked Trick. Okay? He said, quote, "If you're so focused on Oba, then why couldn't you do what I did last week and drop him?" Okay, Javon, I see you. Get with it. After that, Trick denied him. But Javon told him to stop doubting him because then he's going to keep shocking him. And I absolutely loved that line. And I really love this rivalry between Trick and Javon. I think both of them are so good in the ring, so good on the mic. They mesh and work so well together. And it's such an entertaining storyline, and I love it so much. And I think this is only the beginning of it. And we have a little bit more to talk about with this later on during Javon's match, which I think was very interesting. So we can kind of touch on that in a little bit. But now we have a video segment, if you will. Ricky Sainz sat down with Vic Joseph for an interview, and Vic Joseph started off by asking Ricky, "Since there are so many people who don't believe you belong here, is that all white noise or just motivation?" Ricky then responded and said, quote, "It's a little bit of both. I think it's funny because there are superstars in the locker room that have had a head start on me, and it wasn't until I showed up that they decided to get on their game." Okay, Ricky, like, gag, like, go off, like, yes. He said that the WWE is just now finding out how confident he is, and he said that confidence is what has brought him this far in his career. It's what brought him to WWE, to NXT, and all the other milestones and accolades in his career. But then his longtime enemy, Sean Spears, interrupts. And, if you know their past, you know this is a gag. So Sean starts off by saying, quote, "We've known each other a long time." To which Ricky responds, quote, "Too long." And like I just said, if you know, you know. He said the reason he didn't ask Ricky to be in the culling is because, quote, "Sadly, you are still the same guy I left over a year ago. Nothing's changed. The arrogance is a plague. That was a great line from Shawn Spears. I loved that. Then Ricky responded and said that the culling is the only reason Spears has the NXT North American Championship, but he will be the reason he takes it away from him. Then to kind of close up this little interview, Shawn Spears drops one of the bombs of the century in NXT by clocking Ricky with this quote: "In case it doesn't work out here, no, you can always go back. Oh, never mind. We both know you've burnt every bridge, don't we?" And then he just walked away. Attitude and walk off. I mean, talk about a clock. That was amazing. I mean, I am so here for this feud. I think, especially when you have guys coming from the other companies, such as Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Shawn Spears. I mean, you could even throw Alexis King in the mix, although he's not really like intertwined with them because he's been in NXT for way longer and he was really around them too much. But I think there's opportunity for a lot of really good storyline material here with the three of them. Right now, we're really just seeing Shawn Spears and Ricky Saints, but I still love what they're doing. Again, still so many opportunities for clocks and gags and really fun moments. So really loving what they're doing there. The next match we had was Hank and Tank versus Tyson and Tyreek. Now, right before Hank and Tank came out for their entrance, they were backstage getting ready to literally come out through the tunnel. And the Motor City Machine Guns were backstage encouraging them before the match. And if you guys have watched or listened to my podcast for any amount of time, literally any amount of time, you would know that the Motor City Machine Guns are one of my all-time favorite tag teams. I rave about them literally every single week on my SmackDown recap videos. And seeing them last night on NXT was the most gag I've experienced in a couple months, to be quite honest with you, from NXT. Now, to the match itself, it was a pretty good match. I mean, both tag teams are powerhouses, so watching them collide was truly awesome. Lots of creative moves that left no room for boredom, and in the end, Tyson and Tyreek took the W, which I absolutely loved. This is a huge win for them. Now, the next match is one I'm very excited to talk about. Now, this is for the NXT Heritage Cup Championship. Lexis King defending against Javon Evans. Now, this was a great match. Both superstars are super athletic and I believe very intelligent in the ring and truly put on such an entertaining match. Now, in the end, Obafemi interfered and attacked Javon Evans. Now, something that I thought was very strange is usually when somebody interferes in a match, the match is supposed to end, but it didn't, which I think is really weird. I want to say I heard that there was a rule where it only ends the match if you were inside the ring, and this didn't happen inside the ring. But still, I think that's bogus. I think it should end regardless because it's still an interference. But in the end, Lexis King was able to take advantage of that situation and retain his title. But then the chaos began because Dark State, one of the most dominant factions in NXT right now, came out. And then Trick Williams came out right after them. And you guys have been spamming my comment section every week on my NXT podcast, like my recap podcast episodes, on my TikTok, on my Instagram, saying that you guys believe Trick Williams is the leader of Dark State. And for literally about 2 weeks, I did not believe you guys. I honestly didn't even understand where this was coming from. It just didn't make sense to me until last night, and I'm starting to see it. Here's my theory. Here's what I've come up with. And here's kind of where I'm like the two things that led me to, okay, this is very strange. A, Trick came out seconds after Dark State came out. And B, Dark State was cheering for Trick Williams. And I don't know, I just thought all of it was very sus timing. Now, similar to last week, Dark State came out, did the whole entrance, but they didn't actually get inside the ring. They were still just in the crowd watching. And honestly, I know some people are very angry about that. but I actually love it. It's a very strategic and smart move from Dark State because what they're doing now is they're building anticipation up for themselves from or for the fans, but for the locker room, they are building up this intimidation that regardless of if they interfere or not, they still bring the chaos with them. And I love that so much. And I think they're setting themselves up for such success in NXT. And I can't wait to see what they continue to do. Moving right along to the next match, we had a women's tag team match, which was pretty fun. We had Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan versus Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Now, literally 5 seconds into this match, Soruka and Zarya came out. And I just have to say, the NXT women's tag team division truly has had a glow up in the last year. I mean, it's become so good and competitive, and this match truly proved that, I believe. Both of these tag teams are so good in the ring and I thought worked together really well. I'm a huge fan of Lash and Jakara, and in the end, Tatum and Gigi did win the match. I thought that Lash and Jakara should have won, but that's a different topic for a different day. And then Sol Ruka and Zarya didn't really do anything. They were kind of just observing and being intimidating. But I don't know. I would like to see Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson win those women's tag team championships, bring them home to NXT for a little bit, and then get called up to the main roster. But again, with the tag team championships being shared upon NXT and main roster, it's really hard to do that. They did have an opportunity a couple months ago against Bianca and Naomi, but they were unsuccessful in that. So, we'll see what happens with them. But moving right along into the semi-main event, we had Ethan Page versus Andre Chase. Now, literally during Ethan Page's entrance, Ricky Saints came out. And he was so unserious. Like, I can't even with him. Like, I love him. He's such an icon. And he sat ringside and was just on commentary, which was great. It was a decent match. I mean, I'm not the biggest Andre Chase fan, to be quite honest with you, but I thought that Ethan did a great job per usual. And in the end, Ethan Page won the match. Now, after the match, the Culling came out to attack Ricky Saints. And now we have a match against Ricky and Sean Spears next week on NXT, which should be so good. And I'm so seated for. All right, let's talk about the main event. We have the NXT Women's North American Championship on the line. Stephanie Vaquer defending against Fallon Henley. Now, I just have to say, Fallon is very smart because she started off the match hot by attacking Stephanie's midsection, which we know was damaged from her first match earlier in the evening against Jada Parker, where she defended her NXT Women's Championship. Now, even though Stephanie wasn't 100%, she still proved why she is double champ. And I thought both women worked so well together and truly put on a fantastic match. I mean, I really loved it. Again, with Stephanie having another match previously, she wasn't 100% to wrestle to her full ability, but we all know what she can do, and I still thought she did really good. Same with Fallon, but of course, in the end, we got a clean victory from Stephanie Vaquer, which I absolutely loved, and I just have so much respect for Stephanie. I think what she's doing is legendary, and we haven't really seen anything like this before in NXT, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, we haven't. We actually have never seen a female double champ in NXT because this is the first time we have a mid-card championship for the women in NXT, which is amazing. But after the match, Fatal Influence attacked Stephanie, but assistance was quick because Jordynne Grace came out for the save, and Jordan picked up both titles to hand to Stephanie, but she wouldn't let go of the NXT Women's Championship, and she made a statement. Now, Jada Parker, though, came out and attacked Jordynne Grace from behind, but it didn't last for long. And the closing scene was Stephanie raising her two-belt tie face-to-face with Jordynne Grace. Now, the road to Stand and Deliver this year, holy crap. I mean, last year it was really good, but this year is even better. I mean, you're telling me we're probably getting Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordynne Grace at Stand and Deliver? Are you kidding me? That's insane. So now into my overall thoughts. Obviously, the way I've been raving about this show, this entire episode, I mean, I thought it was a great show. I thought it was so good. My match of the night was the main event for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Stephanie Vaquer versus Fallon Henley, all around just such a fun match, and I really just enjoyed it. My segment of the night was the Ricky Saints interview. I love the direction that we are going in with Ricky Saints and Sean Spears. Those two could go at it for days, and I'm so excited. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see all the work that they do together. Overall, I'd rate the show about an 8 out of 10, so consistently staying with those high ratings for NXT. And you know what? I can't wait for next week. I think next week's going to be even better. And you know what? We're about 3 or 4 weeks away from NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania 41. That whole weekend should be amazing. April 19th and 20th for WrestleMania, and I believe April 19th for NXT Stand and Deliver earlier in the day. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!